All right, ladies and gentlemen, this place is unique. We are here in Jacksonville, Illinois at the Jacksonville Speedway. Talk about an absolute bull ring. I don't even know if you could consider this place a quarter mile. I think that's how it's advertised, but they race micros here. It's a perfect midget track. My camera doesn't even really do it all justice. If you guys watch us in the wintertime, we race our outlaw carts. I almost feel like you could run outlaw carts on this place. So just really interesting layout we got here. Now the facility in general has taken quite a bit of water over the last 24 hours. So our fingers crossed that we're gonna get this show in and we don't have any more of what Mother Nature is gonna throw at us coming. You can tell the track's pretty wet. It rained earlier, it rained yesterday afternoon. They're still even waiting to let rigs into the pits. But anyway, we're gonna keep hanging out. Excited to be here. Wouldn't be surprised if we have over 40 or 50 410 sprint cars for tonight's World of Outlaws show. Another stacked field and another brand new racetrack for us with Tarleton Motorsports. So we've made it down to the pit area. Here's a little bit more up close look at the racetrack. They're just out there with the tiller right now, just trying to turn up the material, give it a little more opportunity to dry out from all the rain. 21 cars down that direction. We got a full pit area of 410 sprint cars. Really nice to be up close though, looking at this thing. It's got solid banking, kind of bottom to top. Nothing crazy, but just very consistent. And it kind of ramps up right to the wall. This place is known to get as wide as it can be, very slow and slick on the bottom. And then, not even, I would say, like pound the top, but just kind of up there with it. It seems like as the night goes on, this place gets like an ice rink, and you really just have to have really good throttle control, be smooth, and be intentional with choosing the right line as the race, goes on and changes. So I'm pretty excited, and what's also great is how many fans are showing up. I didn't realize the support that this place had from the local community and people that come in, because it does just put on such an exciting show. It's typical bull ring racing. So we're gonna be getting after it tonight with the greatest show on dirt here in just about 30 minutes. Going to be having the pit meeting, then getting our fire suit and roll right into engine heat, hot laps, and qualifying.
The Tarleton & Son Executive Auto Sales, American Rock and Rent, Bandy & Associates, Durst Family, number 21. This is Tanner Holmes. Tanner Holmes. Turn 4, proven to be pretty treacherous here, but he will take the green flag. One appearance for the Outlaws earlier this season, failed to make the feature. He is yet to make an appearance here at the Jacksonville Speedway. Holmes out of turn number 4 to the white flag opening lap. He is 23rd fastest at 10.894. The Tarleton 21 victorious here in 2021 with the Ron Milton Race of Champions with Carson Short behind the wheel. The checkered flag is out, and lap 2 will not be an improvement. It is a 10.894 for Tanner Holmes, 23rd fastest.
Well, we ended up with 35 cars tonight at Jacksonville. Tough field, tough racetrack. This place is, you gotta be up on the wheel. It's no different than almost like a Silver Dollar or a Placerville back home. We got a hole to dig ourselves out of. We just qualified. They're finishing the last couple cars. Right now, I think we're somewhere around 25th. I have a 35 car field. Just didn't get the lap that I needed. Felt like I was a little bit snug, but I also don't know if maybe some of my throttle points and how I got around the racetrack was correct either. Felt like maybe I just needed to have a little more wheel spin and just a little more throttle to get turned. Seemed like kind of once I got in, maybe because I was kind of straight, like I just kind of got over on the right rear, and it's almost like the car jumped and I couldn't, keep that momentum and make a clean exit. So anyway, tough place. Wish we weren't so far behind here to start, but we'll just keep working on it, and I'll work on stuff on my end. So we'll be, like I said, they're just finishing the last couple cars right now, so we're probably going to be starting 6th or 7th, or farther back in a heat race. They're only going to be transferring the top 5 to the feature, so we have our work cut out for us to move forward to try to get in the show. So heat race is up next. As I told you guys, we're going to be a little bit buried here. We're starting 7th in the heat, top 5 transfer. Racing surface is pretty fast. It's interesting, it's not throwing a bunch of mud. There's a few spots, even with all the rain, but it's almost like the surface has like some grip, but it still kind of comes apart. So it'll be interesting if it kind of slicks off as we get through these heat races coming up. I think it might be a little difficult to pass just because it's so tight and it's still a little narrow, but we'll have to see. We're in one of the last heat races, so that will give it some time to kind of work in. And from us coming from row 4, it's all about getting a good start and trying to get those positions early. But made a few adjustments to the car, looking back and just kind of watching my onboard real quick. I just, like I said, didn't do my job behind the wheel. I just didn't have the right combination with my feed, and just off the gas a little too soon. Then my car was kind of tight, and almost like the analogy in an outlaw cart, sometimes if you stab the gas and just spin the tires, they'll actually spin and hook up. And sometimes if you almost carry a certain throttle, it just carries the nose of the car and almost wants to wheelie because of all the torque. So I needed more throttle. It would have just spun the tires and kept me moving forward a lot better, and would have led to a much better lap time. But nothing you can do about that now. Time to move on to the heat race. Well, we move forward in the heat race. The job's complete as far as making the show, but you guys know we obviously want more than that. So good that we went 7th to 5th, got the last transfer spot, got really close to 4th. I think if I would have ran, I mean, it wouldn't have taken much more of a better heat race to get that position. As I was reeling the car in front of me in, I just ran out of time and could have had some better choices to get to him sooner. The racetrack's gotten pretty thick, just about halfway up, so they just tilled it, trying to get it all the way to the wall. 1 and 2 is a tad bit higher, but still, like, this place could use some width. Just tough. There's quite a bit of grip in spots, especially as we're kind of digging down a little deeper. I'm sure we're getting to a few soft areas and where it's getting chunky. Well, there's a goal tonight, though. It'd be definitely to shoot for hard charger. We're gonna be starting just ahead of the B main event cars, so we got our work cut out for us. Like I said, glad that we're in the A. Just kicking myself, and ran the bottom really well, as good as you could run the bottom. I thought my laps were great down there, but I should have jumped up to the top in 1 and 2, and I think that would have been the difference in maybe me transferring or getting one more spot, or just running 5th where I was. Maybe if I could have made some time up, followed the car, and then when I got to him, peeled off or threw a slider. But I do think our car was one of the better ones on the low side, so if guys stay up, we can make the bottom work, but still, we got to be able to go all over, and as a driver, I just need to attack the surface a little more than I am at the moment. So we got 40 laps now. Up next at the Jacksonville Speedway. The 21 car is going to be rolling off from 20th. 10th row outside. That's a lot of cars on a little racetrack. This is a place where lap traffic is basically what wins or loses you the race. I don't know if you can really have a race here without having a ton of traffic. Everyone is just constantly around cars. So for us, kind of starting farther back, the key is getting a good start and just having positive forward momentum. I don't even care where I got to run on the track, whether that's bottom, top. I know most of the night I was lower in that heat race and in qualifying, but if I got to get up top here, get up by the wall, or like I said, run right through the middle, basically just go where cars aren't. So we made quite a few changes to our car just to try to be better in traffic with so many cars around us. I think our speed might be a little low those first couple laps until cars kind of start, breathing a little bit, like you get enough room where you can really start to hustle. Those are really when there's a lot of opportunity to make passes, when everyone's close and guys just aren't really sure necessarily where to go. So with us starting 20th, the goal, hard charger, move forward, and constantly just be getting better throughout the race. So right away, you can tell these restarts were very chaotic in the back, just hard to get going and let everyone just do their thing so we could actually get racing. And if you're on the inside, as you can tell from the camera, like it was covered in mud just because it was so greasy down there. So we only got a few laps in on this restart before we had another one, and that's where things went south for us. So I knew in my head that something wasn't right between that first incident and between this one. Like there had to be some damage to my race car, and you get that time in the work area, so I had them tow me over there. Luckily my team and a few other teams were ready to go. Like they were waiting for me to get there, but by the time they stopped with the tow truck, they assessed all the damage. Things were just, they were too significant for us to change and, you know, repair and get back out. Well, we didn't even get 10 laps there in the feature. DNF tonight in the 21 car. One of those nights, just got to pull a tear off, move on to the next. I feel bad. I just felt like I just didn't put together a very good night on my end. I actually think my car was solid, and I just think that it was a lot better than I was. Even there in the feature, like, I mean, I was just trapped for the most of the feature, right? Starting on the inside, and we never ever got any laps to where guys could, like I said, spread out and you could actually start racing. It didn't help too. A car spun out in front of me 2 or 3 laps in, and I hopped there left front, and I think it knocked out my Jacob's ladder or something on the right rear corner. After that, my car wasn't handling great for the next couple restarts, and with just such a small track, hard for people to get going. We had quite a few yellows to start, and one of them just bit us. Guys wrecked in front of us, and you know, you can't see out of the right side of sprint cars very well, so I just, you know, everyone kind of just piled in, you know, mid-pack on back. So unfortunate. Felt like that's what I needed there in the feature, was just 40 laps to get going, and I think that we could have been good, and that would have been the chance for me to start excelling, right? So it is what it is. Hopefully it didn't tear up too much. We'll go check. Just got changed, and just got to shut the trailer door tonight, put this one behind us, and move on to our next show. Well, I have to admit, obviously wasn't happy with our results tonight, but Jacksonville's a cool little bull ring and exciting to watch, you know, just watching the feature on Dirt Vision, or, you know, I see why there had to have been a couple thousand people here in the grandstands, like sold out. Because this place, it just keeps you on the edge of your seat. I felt like they did a good job with the racing surface, considering, you know, how much it rained in the past 24 hours. That's one of the toughest things, you know, as a promoter, track prep guy. Like when you have an outside factor like that, sometimes places get really rough. A little uneven through here, but otherwise, I mean, pretty good all the way up to the fence. Kind of built a cushion a little bit low, but I feel like some guys were almost running on top of it. Larson, of course, he was making speed in spots where no one was making speed, and he was checked out. So definitely putting this place down to somewhere I'd like to come back to, get more laps. As you can probably tell, I was, you know, frustrated with how things finished off tonight. I think I had gotten over it earlier, but then once something like that in the A-main event happens, where just because kind of where we were at, being stuck in the back, guys wrecking in front of us in spots we don't want to be in, it all kind of goes back to how we qualified. And digging yourself out of a hole like that is just really, really difficult. So that's my frustration after the feature. It's like, well, man, if we wouldn't have qualified, you know, 300th place, we would have had a shot to, you know, start farther up in the A-main event. Even starting 15th or lower would have been better, but once you're 20th, or I think we ended up 19th because one car was late to staging, you're just in harm's way all the time. And we had so many restarts, so guys are all playing games, trying to jump rows, and it's just part of it. It's how it is here at the top level. Everyone's getting every little bit, but you don't want to be back there. It's not where I wanted to be. So like I said, it kind of went back to how things were earlier in the night. But props to everyone involved for completing today's show. Last thing to note, I got to thank my team. It was just Drew Warner, Carly, and myself tonight, and those guys were doing everything on the race car, just the two. We're missing Nate. Unfortunately, he's back home. Just the three of us, so constantly things were happening in our pit. Those guys really handled it well, and we'll move on now to Knoxville tomorrow and look at all areas, you know, myself as a driver with our race car, how can we be better on a completely opposite racetrack. And we start tomorrow, clean slate, and we'll give it all we got. So thanks to the Tarleton family, thanks to my 21 guys, and we'll see you guys in the next show. Deuces.